Welcome to Momadaram. In this video, we will see try with resources, file or database connection or network connection, etc. We can say these are all the resources in Java. Any resources needs to be released after they are used. Why they have to release it means to avoid resource leaks and also make them available for others to use. So we have to close the resources once they are used. Before Java 7, we are using finally blocks to close the resources. As we know that finally blocks will be always executable. That means if an exception occurred or not, the occurred exception catched or not, it won't bother. Always this finally block will be executed. So this makes sure that resources are released after their usage in try block. If you keep resource closing statements in finally block. In this example, we have a method print user details. In this, we are trying to connect with the MySQL database. So we have created connection is equals to null. Inside the try block, first we are doing loading the JDBC driver. After that we are creating the connection. Driver manager.get connection of by passing URL and username and password. By passing this, we are getting the connection. So this connection is the resource. After that we are using catch block, and in the finally block we are closing the connection here. The database connection pool has some limited connections. For example, if you are having 100 connections are used. If it is not closed, all are using, that time other persons cannot able to access the database. So whenever we use the connection and it is required to close that connection once the usage is done. So in the finally block we are closing the connection object. So programmer has the responsibility to close the resources once they have used by using finally block. Try with resources. With the introduction of try with resources in Java 7, there is no need to explicitly close the resources as in the above example. As we have seen in the previous screen, we are explicitly closing the resources, like database connection we are explicitly closing. Try with resources auto closes the resources used in the try block. In this example, if you see, we are performing the same activity, but we are using the connection within the try block. If you see here, connection is equals to driver manager dot get connection. This statement we are keeping within the try block. So if you see this statement again, try with resources auto closes the resources used in the try block. That means if you keep any resources within this try, they will be automatically closed. Now the question is when they will be closed. At the end of the try block, these resources will be closed. If exception occurred, that time also when the controller is leaving from the try block, that time these resources will be automatically closed. If you see in this example, the same connection object we are keeping outside the try block. That means connection is equals to driver manager dot get connection. This statement we are keeping outside and we are using that reference inside the try block. So it is giving error saying that resource reference are not supported at language level 8. It is saying resource references are not supported. So till JDK 8 version, we cannot able to access these references within the try. So if still wants to use the same, if you define the outside, that time how you can access is you have to create another local variable and you have to assign it to that. So in this example, if you see, we have connection object and we are assigning it to the connection 1. In JDK9 version, they come up with a solution is resource references are also supporting in try block. If you see in this example, connection object is equals to driver manager dot get connection. So we are happily able to access that reference in the try block. So I have JDK8 and JDK16. So I have changed the JDK version to 16. That is the reason we are not able to see error here. From JDK9 version onwards, these references are allowing. Now let us see some other observations. How the resources are closed automatically. Before Java 7, programmers has the responsibility to close the resources by using finally blocks. From JDK 1.7 onwards, resources are closed automatically. How they are closed means the resources are closed automatically by implementing java.lang.auto closable interface. So the resources are implementing this interface, that is the reason they will be closed automatically. I have captured this screen from the official website docs.oracle.com for this auto closable interface. If you see here, all known sub interfaces and all known implementing classes are internally implementing this auto closable interface. So we can happily access these classes. We don't want to bother about closing the resources. Here I have highlighted a few classes and interfaces because in our day-to-day life we are working with them most of the times. That is the reason I have highlighted. If you see here, callable statement, connection interface, network channel, statement, line, stream, these are all the sub interfaces of this auto closable. Buffered input stream, buffered output stream, buffer reader, buffer writer, byte array input stream, byte array output stream, character array reader, file output stream, file reader, input stream reader, object input stream, string writer, zip file, zip input stream. These are all the classes which are internally implementing this auto closable. So that is the reason they will be auto closed. This auto closable interface has only one method, that is close method, and this auto closable interface is introduced in 1.7 version. Now the next question is, if we have more than one resources, how we will use? In the example, we are having single connection object, so single connection resource, so we are happily used. In sometimes we may have to work with multiple resources. How we will be using with this try with resources means multiple resources can be used by separating with semicolon. If you see in this example, we are using file reader, fr is equals to new file reader, connection is equals to driver manager dot get connection, file writer is equals to new file writer. These are all the different resources we are using. So how we are representing in the try block, specifying with separating semicolon. So like this we can able to access or we can able to specify any number of resources. The another important point is, in this example we are using file reader, connection, file writer instances. So we have defined in the try block. Once when we are trying to reassign, so fr file reader is there, here I am trying to reassign, so it is giving error saying that variable used as try with resource should be final or effectively final. That means once you use it in the try with resource, it should be final. Why it should be final means, if you see in this case, fr is pointing to the test.txt1. If it is allowed to reassign, then it will be pointed to the test1.txt. That time we don't know which resource it needs to close. That is the reason it is not allowing us to reassign the resources. So based on these examples we can say we are not required to close the resources explicitly. Resources will be closed automatically. This is all about this video. Thanks for watching.